Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kelly with DIY Build Hacker, and today I'm going to go over with you guys how to change out the blades on your Dewalt 12-inch planer. I've been getting some pretty rough cuts, and also I've been getting a lot of kickback from the sawdust. It seems like my dust collection system hasn't been doing a whole lot when the planer's on. So I took it apart, and it was really jammed up with sawdust and just debris from the last, I don't even know, year of using it. So the good thing about this type is the blades actually have two sides to them, so you can switch them around and get a whole nother go around before you have to buy new blades. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you how I did it and what I feel is the easiest way of doing it. Okay guys, so this is the front of the planer. This is the model 734 planer that I have, and I would think that the other models that are similar to this that you'd be able to use this video for that too. But this is the 734, so if you have that one, then it's definitely gonna be the same and it would work. The very first thing though you want to make sure you do is unplug it. Don't work on it with the power to it. So unplug it, and then I'm going to go around to the back here. So this hood here, this is where you would put the your dust collection would go to that, and you want to take that off, and there's a couple tools that came with it, and there's two screws. There's going to be a screw right here, and there's one over here, and you're going to use this star bit to take that out, and then you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, and you can see down there. So we're going to take that off, and I'll show you what it's like when it's off, and we'll go from there. Okay, so once you got all the screws out, then this thing will just lift off, and you could set that off to the side, put that over there. Okay, and this is what the blades look like. There's going to be three of them, and this thing will just spin. We'll change one, and then obviously it'd be the same for the other two. I don't think there's any reason to go through all three of them. But what I was having problems with, besides the blades being dull, is my dust collection wasn't really picking up much of anything. When I'd put a piece of wood in, it was just all the sawdust, and I was doing a lot of epoxy, like charcuterie tables, so the resin, it was just flying all back out. It looked like I was making snow. So when I took that hood off originally, there was so much sawdust jammed up inside here and inside the hood, like down inside here. It was jammed up. Like, I don't even know how that thing still worked. So that's obviously dumb on my part. So like anything, you want to maintain stuff and take care of it. So lesson learned for that. So that same star bit that you used, that comes with it, that's what you're going to use for these right here. Okay guys, so if you look to the right of the blades, there's just a little, like a little lever. I'm gonna try to show you this without getting my big head in the way. But when you turn it, this is the lever right here. When you turn the blade, it's gonna click into place. You hear it click there, and then now it's not gonna move, and you could take the screws out and not have to worry about the thing moving on you. So I'm gonna loosen some of these. Let me back this out a little bit. And hopefully I'm not in the way, but like I said, you're going to use this star bit, and you're going to loosen these up. So you loosen all of them up. You have 8 of them. So get them all loose. Okay, so once you get all 8 of those out, and this little black bar just comes off and exposes your blade. Okay, so if you're looking at this blade, you see this little arrow there? So that arrow is pointing towards the blade that's being used right now. So when you're switching these out, what you could do when you flip it around, you'll know that this point of this arrow, this little triangle, is going to be pointing the other way. Okay, so once you got all those screws out, then this blade is just going to pull out. Okay, and we're going to flip it around. So now that arrow is going to be pointing towards the other side. If you look, you can see, let me zoom in on here. You can see these little nubs right here and these little holes. They kind of click down on top of that. Okay. Okay, so once you get that blade spun around, then you can put the plate back on. And then start putting the screws back in. I just started in the center and then put those two ones in and then put one on each edge. I didn't tighten any of them down until I got them all in. Just to make sure everything lines up good. These in here. Okay, then once they're all in, I just kind of hand tighten them all down. Then get your star bit out. Tighten these center ones. Just get them snug. You don't have to tighten them too much right now. Get them all snugged up. Okay, and once you got them all snugged up, then you can tighten them down. I don't think it's necessary to go too tight. You want them snug, but you don't want to crank on them too much. Let's go back through and just make sure they're all good. Okay. So then you have that little lever here. You can kind of pull that up and then spin it. And then that'll get you to the next one. And then you just basically do the same thing. Okay, so now we got that done. Slide this down a little bit. Now it's just a matter of putting the hood back on and giving this thing a test run. So this thing just slides back in place here. We got the two screws, and then remember we have the Phillips head down here. Okay guys, we're going to give us a shot and run this through the planer now and see if those new blades are doing any better than they were before. Before, it was pretty bad, so I can't imagine that it's going to be worse. But let's get the... Okay guys, yeah man, it's looking good. About 8,000 times better than it was before I changed the blades. And I don't know if you noticed, but there was very little sawdust coming back. If you guys would have saw before, it was almost like somebody had a snowblower in front of me and they were just blowing it out. I was doing some charcuterie boards with epoxy and it was like it was snowing in my face, which should have been a clue to maybe check and see what was going on. I was saying before, this was totally clogged up. The average person would have thought to look at this, but I'm a little slow sometimes and it takes me a little bit. But hopefully this helps, and if you guys have any questions, let me know, and we'll go through it. And any nice comments, leave them for me. Any bad comments, just keep them to yourself, and hit the subscribe button. Thanks guys.